me just quickly go down. Okay, perfect. So guys, I think we started with first looking our or locating our what kind of integration content or what SAP offers on it on api.sap.com. Then I think we started with the use case that now let's in case if you are new to any kind of a company who gives you some kind of S user ID. Okay, so S user ID is like with in case if any of the company who is SAP customer. Okay, so whenever a new user gets created, so they will have some kind of S user ID. So it will be prefixed with letter S and then there will be 10-digit number. So we were interested in seeing it out, how it gets played forward. So like what kind of things we will see. Okay, so when I say what kind of things we see, so now let's say I want to see which is the CPI tenant I'm added or where I do play with the roles, where do I see the incident management and all the things. So there is a lot of information we have available. So the first thing we started with this is what is exactly a SAP BTP. Okay, so we just talked about again, this is just a rebranding. Earlier it was known as a cloud platform. Now it is named as SAP Business Technology Platform, which offers the next generation of services to build intelligent enterprise application with support technologies like machine learning, data management, experience analytics, integration, and an extension of your application part. Quick line for this tool was intelligently connecting people, things, and business. Then what we have started looking first was now how to actually uh, uh, get to this particular portal. When I say the portal, or uh, in case if I have to start with the business technology platform, as this is an on-demand platform, so there has to be some kind of a URL, so which is account.hana.ondemand.com. Then second thing I think we started exploring was the services. What are the different kind of services which are available into this business technology platform? Here, once we click on this service catalog, okay, not sure why this is slow. Okay, perfect. So now here what we have started seeing is what are the different kind of a service this particular platform offers. Okay, so so now if you just look at here, we do have different kind of total. We have close to 95 services, and if you look at here, they have segregated it by the different kind of capabilities also. So now I'm sure you can just explore by yourself if you're looking for a very specific services. I think the most common I see is which are featured one. I think these are like very commonly used. So in case if you have to do any kind of Fury development, I think you would be using this business application studio. I'm sure there would be some kind of there are some kind of there was an option. Okay, no, I think there was one option I thought to see it by only the featured one, because if this is a featured, you can assume that this is very commonly used across different places. So again, SAP has I think launched the concept of a free tier. Again, they are just trying to, I don't know what to call it again, they're just trying to, what they're already giving it out as a free. I'm not sure what more comes with this word free tier services. Okay, so again, these are some kind of 30 services which is a part of a free tier services which you can actually use for your trial part. Okay, so if you look at here, these are the services. Okay, we are going to install this. We're going to work today with this particular service of integration suite. So uh, this is what we have looked in. We'll be talking about how to actually get set up your trial accounts. We have proper documents, so don't worry about it. So we'll just go step by step how to actually start with this. Now, coming back to this bit here, I don't think so there should be any kind of a question regarding how to explore servers or just information around it or any kind of going forward also. Okay, it's not just about this integration. If there is any other kind of a service you need to explore, you should be able to see what are the different kind of offerings it has in terms of pricing, some information, missions, tools, everything you will be able to see at one place. That we discussed about the service part. Then what we did is we actually logged. We click on log on. Let me click on here. Let me click on sign in. Let me remove this first. I think this is I have set up for today for a trial account. Again, for trial account, there are also some challenges. Uh, I think when I say it's challenges, because you can, when you are setting up a trial account, just remember that you have to give your mobile number also. So every time if you have to create an account, uh, uh, unique details for that particular bit. Okay, so let me first. So let me just quickly recap what we have seen here in this particular bit, because again there are a few things which I want to discuss it out, and then we'll just take it forward. So first we just talked about what exactly is a global account, sub account. Okay, so we have seen here. Okay, that first one is your global account. What standard is the first thing come when you actually step into the particular screen. Okay, then after that you have your sub account. So global account is the realization of contract you made with your SAP. Okay, so this is at a very higher level. Okay, where actually where a customer like let's say suppose for Nestle defines okay what kind of entitlement the customer would be having it out. So now let's say in case if I'm Nestle and SAP is there, I would say okay I just need this specific entitlements, might be services or quota. Then we do have the concept of a sub account. So once you click onto this, you would have the concept of a sub account. So sub accounts let you sorry, a sub account like let you structure a global account to your organization and your project uh, requirement with regards to member authorization and your entitlements. So now we have seen a global account and then we have a sub account. So when I say sub account, so based on my project requirement, might be for integration, might be for analytics, might be for any kind of a different service, I'll be able to easily create from here sub account and a directory. Again, it all depends on what kind of a access you have it. I think yesterday someone asked me a question, Sam, what exactly is booster security? Again, guys, what happens is there is a lot of different kind of concepts. Okay, when you come into the BTP, it's not that straightforward. You can just think of again what SAP was on premise. They're just trying to simply build everything into BTP. Not exactly, but again, there's a huge platform which you will be have a lot of services. I'll just talk about this concept in case you have anything very specific to your project. Let me know separately. I can just help you out. So now, if you're asking me what is boosters, so now SAP is very smart also. And I think it makes sense. Why? So now let's say in case I'm talking about one of the services called cloud workflow. Okay. Now what happens is, now let's say in case if someone wants to define a service, and there after that there are some few steps. Okay. There are few steps which customer has to do it to start working with it. Now SAP says in case if we can automate your steps for you, it will be easy. And that is they are doing it with the help of a boosters part. So if you go to this boosters, um, okay, so here there are steps for your workflow, set up your account for workflow management. If you start this particular part behind the scene, it will get actually automatically start this booster. So it just try to try to pace your process. Okay, whatever you want to do it. Again, SAP is coming with a lot of different kind of a things where for customers it should be like a plug and play. So there will be a lot of different things you will be seeing around the scene. But related to integration, I'll just make sure that I just touch base on all the aspects. Now, let me go back here. Now coming back again to the same. So now yesterday what we have seen is global account, sub account. We have seen here the environment, the type, and the region. Okay. So now let me just quickly do one thing. So now let's say if I'm just talking about a test. Now I have just promised I will just try to just map as practical as project possible thing so that you can just see everything real time, and whenever you get your real time systems you should be able to map it out. So now let's say in case if I open this particular test system. Okay. So yesterday when we came to this particular page we talked about this is your cloud cockpit. Okay. So now the sorry. So now this is a cloud BTP Neo cockpit. Okay, so we'll just come back to this point of a Neo, but this is a cockpit. Okay, so when I say the cockpit, you will be able to manage a lot of user-related users, roles, security, everything you will be able to actually manage from this particular cockpit only. So now here, this is first page where you will be able to see the information. Okay, overall health of your sub account. But I think the most important thing which you have to remember is, because I'm going to show you this particular bit later, anytime if there is any kind of technical ID to identify your sub account is just given here. Okay. Then we have a different kind of applications. Now, as I mentioned you, if this is a new environment, this is SAP proprietary. When I say SAP proprietary, it has your different kind of applications. When I say application, I mean runtime here. Java, HTML5, HANA Access subscription. Then we have your services, solution, database, and then monitoring, connectivity, security, whatnot. Okay, so what are the options you can assume everything will be available. So now when we're just talking about all these particular different options, now for us important was how Sam, how can I see what is the URL and how can I get more roles related information. So what I have talked yesterday, you have to go into your application subscriptions. Okay, and in your subscription we have these two important nodes which is related from the architecture perspective. One is your IFL map, second is your TM. TMN stands for your tenant management node, IFL map stands for your integration flow mapping. If you click onto this particular node, you will get your desired URL to log in into your CPI system. And the same way you have your IFL map, again there is a URL, but we have to play around the roles on both the nodes. This is what we have seen in yesterday's session, and then what we have discussed about the launchpad. Okay, so now the launchpad, why? Now let's say in case if someone wants to create a new user, so now let's say in case if you become the admin of a system, or maybe you have to manage it out, okay? Because you in cloud you get different kind of responsibilities. So in case if you have to create any kind of a S user into the system, so what you have to do is you have to go to this launchpad.support.sap.com, and then what you have to do is you have to just choose, as I've shown you yesterday, drop down users, and then you can actually, if you look at here this particular screen, here you have this option of a request users. So once you click a request user, then I think you should be able to provide all the names, email ID, and then S user will get actually automatically created. So that's how you create actually S user might be for your, in case if it's required. But Launchpad is important because from that particular page, you will be able to actually manage incidents, you will be able to download, you will be able to look into KBAs, you will be able to actually create users. So we do have a different kind of features available onto this particular page, which is a Launchpad. And as SAP says, for any kind of any cloud application, I think this you should be using it. So this was what we have discussed on your user management and how to actually figure out uh, your uh, your URL plus your uh, uh, role and your S user part. Now again guys, there are a few important things I know, because when we're just talking about this huge topic like BTP, okay, it's actually very, very big. So things actually get missed out. So I'll just do one thing. I'll just write step by steps few things, and then we can just see, okay, how to take it further on the roles, and then maybe then how to actually set up an account for ourselves. So I think first thing is when we're just talking about global account, and guys, in case if I go on mute, so please excuse me. I have this bad throat, so please. So now here what you have to understand is when we're just talking about a global account or a sub account, okay, just draw it here. I think when we're just talking about here global account, so global account has just two important things here. I think the first is your account type, and the second is your entitlements. Okay, so account type is what type of this account is. It's a new, it's a cloud foundry or multi-cloud. Okay, and when I say that the word entitlements, what are the services I'm supposed to be using it out? That's what we see at a global account level. When we're just talking any about any kind of a sub account, okay, so there are a few things which are very important into the sub account. I think in sub account it just talks about your region. It just talk about your quotas, and it has in way when I say the word environment, when I say the word environment, because actually it comprises of again your services, your application, and your tools. Okay, because environment has all the things. In case, let me, I'll just mention it here. Again, I think these are available everywhere. It's not something. So all this information I think are available. I'm just putting it out so that you can actually relate it anytime if you are going through it. For you, it should be very quick. Okay. So when I'm just saying environment, so it's about services. It's about applications, and about quotas. What kind of a quotas all your tools, sorry, because quota is overall part of a sub account. When I say environment, it what kind of a, tools it provide. So these are overall what we see at your global account and your sub account level. I think there is one very important thing is about the environments. Okay, what are the different kind of environments which it actually supports into your SAP integration suite. So now what happens is when this particular tool was started, I think there was only, if you see, there are only two major environments, I think, which was your Cloud Foundry, and then second one was your Neo. So when I'm just talking about this both the environments, if it's a Cloud Foundry or Neo, so there was a lot of preference was there for the new. When I say the word new, why? Because new environments was proprietary by SAP. Because as you've seen in most of the application, like your Fiori also, so SAP says their UI5 is open source, and when they say Fiori wrapper, that's their add-on on top of it. That's like proprietary to SAP. If you want to use it, you have to pay it out. The same way, in case if you want to use a new environment, again, so that's SAP proprietary one. Okay, so where you can actually develop application in different languages like your HTML5, Java, SAP, HANA Access. Okay, uh, and there was other kind of a support in a new. When I'm just talking about the word Cloud Foundry, so Cloud Foundry was some kind of an open source project. Okay, which was started by I think the company called VMware. Okay, and now what happens is now the traction has been changed drastically in the in recent time. Now there is a lot of focus by SAP to go everything onto a multi-cloud, or which is a Cloud Foundry environment. Okay, so there is a lot of scope you would see, or new applications are coming onto this Cloud Foundry or multi-cloud. So both are same only. I think again they have just renamed it multi-cloud again because there are different kind of providers are there, like your AWS, Azure, or your GCP part. Okay, so when we're just talking about your Cloud Foundry, again, I think it is an industry standard platform as a service, so it's not like something which is not mature. So this is actually very mature. It is available in both the environments, your private and your public cloud environment. Okay, and it has it this particular platform also support different kind of a programming language. Okay, so when I say the programming language, how much I know and how much I've read, because I haven't used uh, like in depth. I think it's Node.js, PHP, Java, Ruby, Go, Python, all this kind of application development is possible in this example, in this your multi-cloud environment. Okay, so I'll just quickly mention one or two line about it. This is SAP. So this is your SAP proprietary, and then when we're just talking about supports, uh, um, Java, SAP plus HTML5. Okay, so this is you have on your Cloud Foundry and your Neo part. Going forward, might be that there can be a day when SAP says, okay, we are not supporting anything on Neo. Also, this can be. I was reading out one place that they will just go full blown with the multi-cloud environment. So this can also be possible in the future. Again, this is cloud, so you expect this kind of a changes, and but you never know when this change will actually come out. But they are already SAP has provided a ways how a new customers can actually move into the cloud foundry again, because there is a lot of more support coming out into this cloud foundry multi-cloud environment. Now there are two more environments apart from it. Okay, apart from your cloud foundry and um, your new environment. I think the one is your ABAP, okay, and the second one is your Chimera runtime. So when we're just talking about ABAP environment, so this environment is only possible within a cloud foundry. Again, this is a new space created for ABAP development. This is what we used to call it. This is what we used to refer for our on-premise time. Now SAP has done it that the people who are using ABAP, or maybe who are developing applications in on-premise using ABAP, they don't lose the track. So in case if they want to create a ABAP-based extension for SAP S4HANA Cloud, so they can actually use the ABAP environment. The next one is the Chemia. Again, there is a lot of, I think, good or positive hype around this particular environment. Again, this is a fully managed Kubernetes runtime based on this open source project Chemia, and this allows developers to extend SAP solution with serverless functions and combines them with containerized microservices. Again, when we're just talking about the schema runtime, so they say with the schema this runtime, you will be able to extend any SAP solutions, any SAP solutions. Okay, so this is I am also looking for. Again, this is a very expensive. I think there are being implementations going like very few. I also want to get myself accustomed to this schema environment. I didn't get a chance, but they say that with this environment, you will be able to extend it out. So these are four possible environments currently we have in your SAP Business Technology Platform BTP. I think the main is these two only. Okay, so now you can understand yourself why I'm saying that SAP BTP might be the front end runner will be Cloud Foundry, because now the latest ABAP environment is not available in this new environment only. Again, this is what I've read last. What we can do here is, let me quickly check this particular bit also. Okay, sorry. Let me just search here. So now again, this is a part of a free tier in case if anyone is already an ABAPer, might be wants to practice out what is available in the cloud. So this is again available in the trial part. So you can just try it out. Again, guys, in case if you look at this provider is AWS, so means yes, you will not be seeing the service into this SAP news, new runtime. So yeah, again, I think that was a quick way to validate it out. If on which different providers, we will be able to know easily that okay, which environment this is supported. So this was on overall your environment. I think next we are talking about I think the word entitlements and quotas. I hope everyone is good with the terms entitlements and quota. Anyone any kind of confusion on this? What is entitlement or quota? Okay, I'll just quickly say entitlement is again is a right to provision or consumer resource. So again, it is like what we have made a contract with SAP that okay, what are the different services we are going to use? So that's an entitlement. And when I use a word quota, so quota represents a numeric quantity that defines the maximum allowed consumption of a resource. Now, when I say the maximum allowed consumption of a resource, why? Because guys, we have to understand that in cloud, okay, as such, nothing is free. Okay? So now let's in case if a cloud be on one of SAP data centers, we have taken a 16 GB memory. And now let's say in case if we are processing our data, and might be there is a chance that it can go beyond that part. So quota defines that okay, for this till this particular with particular edition or whatever the premium or standard edition, this is the quota is SAP is going to offer you. In case if you extend, so there are charges, and I have seen it. Actually, I've seen it when it is not going to stop your application or not your consumption, but there will be an automatic mail get triggers to your whosoever is on the account is linked that there has been over usage, and these are the different kind of charges. So that's about your entitlement quotas. Uh, Again, I think we talked about yesterday. Okay, there are different kind of a commercial models. Yep. Okay. So now let me just go back again.
Hey Sam,
Yeah.
I assume we will have multi-level sub-accounts. Am I correct?
Yeah, definitely. I think yesterday we talked about here. Let me just go back here into this particular screen. So now when you go here, um, sorry, this I cannot. So now you can just create NM. I think it's maximum. I haven't tried out. I think there is a close to 7 to 8 level of hierarchy you create because that's maximum I have seen it out, and that
What's
is
the
also possible with the new concept of directories. Yesterday
what
I
could be
mentioned
the
about the.
yeah, what could be the lowest level by role or by functionality?
So when you are talking about from a sub account perspective,
Yes, sub-account prospect. Yes.
I think sub account has some specific set of functionality only, na? So might be
Okay.
it can be specific service for integration or it can be a different kind of entitlement. So let me, so if I go here onto the entitlements, um,
Let's take lead to cash. In the lead to cash, we have different functionalities, right? Like starting with quotation contract.
no, so I think we are merging, I'm not sure. Okay, how first of all you are merging lead to cash here in this particular screen?
Mhm.
No,
So,
how you are merging down?
let's assume like I have a client. Their line of business is construction. Okay. So in that business, like they use only like Ariba for the opportunity. They don't use rest of the functionality. They not Ariba. They use the CRM box only for the opportunity. They don't use the rest of the functionality. So can SAP provide service only for the opportunity? To
No, it can never be.
it can be okay.
Guys, see, they again, I'm telling you, in cloud, SAP has again, there is a lot of mess. Now, why I'm saying it? Now, currently, what SAP cloud application which is running is, that's for CRM is this one. Okay, wait. That's my, okay, this is one of the cloud application, okay,
Mhm.
which does your all the part. Currently, SAP does not have that kind of a microservices concept, okay, in case if you want to just use opportunity, no. Okay,
Okay.
we don't have it. Now hear me out one more important thing. Now when we just talking about on the BTP, it's
Mhm.
not that all the cloud application you will be able to actually enable it out. No. So now let's say if I'm talking about like application like this Sales Cloud, might be Ariba, SuccessFactors. Nothing is going to be get enabled from the BTP. They are separate application only as altogether.
Okay.
Okay. There is a no relationship here into this BTP. There are services like your analytics or
Oh,
yesterday
got
we have seen. Okay,
got it.
so
Got it.
that services are it's different.
I
Okay,
understood.
now
Mm.
no, because I really get your question, because this happened with multiple times. People who are saying that okay, they see everything will be get enabled from the BTP. No, there are
Okay.
some standalone cloud application, okay,
Mhm.
like whatever SAP has acquired or they have homegrown, and
Mhm.
there are some kind of a services like your API portal, integration
Okay.
suite.
Mhm.
But then if you look at here on the available service, so these are the different kind of a services: content transport, credential stores. Yesterday we have talked about the different services. Okay,
Mhm.
so here when you come to this particular page of account explorer,
Mhm.
now as I mentioned you, global account, it's like overall what's your contract with SAP. Based on that, your now let's say at my contract level I have these 30 services which I'm entitled to use. And based on my, these are services, now there are in SPBT there are 95 services. But for this global account, there are these 22 services which I can use it out, or might be I have installed. Okay, so
Okay.
you can add your these different services to your sub account. Now, when you come to again, you cannot add everything, all the services into your global account. Na? So you create sub accounts, you create directories like folder inside a folder, just to segregate for what particular might be business location or might be your business line, what are the different services you're using. As simple as that. Okay.
Yeah.
This particular case was very simple. One global account, they have just created sub account for integrations, cloud integration, production, and then there is one more they have.
Got it.
This can be easily created again using a sub account or a direct. So all this is possible.
Got it.
Now, yesterday we were talking about this cloud integration, and guys, might be initially you would need a practice. Today, once we'll set up a trial account, the view is little different, but once you practice it out, again, I think it will be little easy for you. Okay. Now, guys, I'll just go on to the next important things. Okay. So I think the first thing here is I'll just put the slide down. Okay. So yesterday we have seen this particular part where we do subscription for the services. But I think one thing which I sorry forgot to tell you. Now, when you come for the first time to this particular system, nothing will be get automatically subscribed. Okay. Nothing will be like it will not be predefined everything. So there is an option called services. Okay. When you see services here, there are different kind of services. So you see here there are different kind of services which are available to your sub account. Now let's say for my case, if I quickly see integration suite, these are the different kind of services: connectivity services, process integration, and SAP API Business Hub. Again, today when we set up our trial account, please don't get confused. This is a new cockpit, so that's why what we see in the real-time new system is a process integration. But what we do for a trial system is it's known as a integration suite. So I'll again highlight out the difference while setting up your trial account, but please do remember that part. So now let's say if your first time you're coming it out, might be setting it up, you click onto this process integration. It's a very simple step. Trust me, if someone been gone through the pain of on-premise, setting it up, connectivity, doing all the configuration, for him it's like a butter, because you just have to click a one button enable, and this will actually get started behind the scene, and this service will get actually started for you. So I'll just show you by some other service which is not enabled. So now let's say, so you just have to click enable button, that's it, and this service will get actually automatically started for you. So that's what we do for our integration suite, for our process integration service here. Okay. So here again, you see it just talks about the availability of this particular service in different kind of environments. Again, configure process, additional resources, documentation, you can all access it out. It also depends what kind of environment you get it. The second important thing which I was talking yesterday was once you subscribe or enable your services, then you go to subscription, look for this different nodes. Now, one thing what happens is,
Sam, I have a doubt over here. Can you just go to the sub accounts once over there when where you're enabling it?
yep, sure. Okay, good.
So here we have the regions, right? Which is coming as a region for Dubai, UAE. It is coming, right? So every customer will be having any region over here, like a specific this particular integration, like a cloud integration belongs to Europe region, or this particular belongs to UK or US, like that. Anything it is.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. So now what happens is, see, SAP cannot give data centers in all the countries. Okay. So now let's say in case if I'm in India, if I see there are two regions available. Let's say Singapore and Europe. So then I'll know that Singapore is the nearest data center to me. So I can just choose for Singapore as such. So your client will have to enable this particular bit in your region part.
Okay.
So Sam, one question here, like for example, my customer.
SAPs take care of it physiologically. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for example, my customer is extended over the globe. So for example, actually, if the account is created under US or UAE, for example, so the developer who is sitting in the US can be access this account, or is there any restriction for that?
No, there's no restriction. You can just quickly, it's very free. You can restrict from anywhere. If it's on demand, from anywhere. You just need internet, that's it.
Okay. So can one customer can have like two global accounts, Sam, and
No,
the two tenants?
no.
Okay.
Customer will have one global account, and global account can have multiple sub accounts. You plan it how you want to do it.
Okay.
Cool. So let me just go back again.
I have one question, Sam. Suppose there is a big client and they are like spread across geography, like US, Europe, Asia Pacific, and like they are running only one. They are running one integration service, for example. So how system like differentiate whether this will run on US region or UK or Asia Pacific?
No, as such, when you are now choosing it out that particular service, I think you have to choose the closest one only. Now, so now let's say you are saying your integration tenant. So now let's say if you have some kind of a global implementation where you are saying might be, let's say if there is a success factor application, you are saying that is being used in 22 countries, and that success factor is using a CPI. Now you're saying that CPI is running might be in which region you are saying, or where it is deployed?
Maybe different data centers and like US,
It would be the
Europe.
one service. It would be just one place where it will be deployed. How much I know that when you are defining a sub account for a specific service, you can just choose a data center also that time. You can define which region you want this to be running it out as such. Guys, honestly, as such, it does not matter. It's like wherever it is running, you have to access through a cloud-based application only.
Yeah,
I
okay.
do understand some people concerns. Some people say only it makes sense from a one perspective where a country says, let's say India says, my country's data should not be outside. I want the data centers to be. In that particular case, it matters. Else, it does not matter. If you have a good internet speed, a data center is located at might be your Dubai, Singapore, or Europe, or use. It does not matter because sometimes when we are using a Gmail or your Facebook, how we know that which data center? If you have a good internet speed, it's going to browse us whatever or load us what we are looking for. Okay. Now, one thing when we are connecting, let's say our cloud connector, I'm going to show you practically also how does when we connect the cloud connector, that time region and all these things becomes little important. Okay. But how much I've seen based on the country where customer is, SAP determines the nearest data centers and gives them. Mostly SAP does in that particular fashion. Okay. Cool. So now again, when we go to the subscription part here, now comes to the few important things here. So now because we'll just start going into bit of your integration part here. Now definitely in case if someone wants to use any kind of integration services, now let's say in case if I want to use an integration. Okay, so there are different kind of roles which are required for integration. So now again, as I mentioned, these both the nodes are very important. So you need to have corresponding roles for it also. So now what are those roles? If I click on this TMN node And here, if you just look at, because first time if you are here, you have a real-time system, I would say just pause. I've seen so many people, they don't want to stop. They just see the screen and they just, okay, I've seen it. No. When you have seen the particular screen, come look at, okay, what are the different kind of information is available to you. So now let's say if you just look at here roles, there are close to 68 roles. And trust me, if I ask you what different roles you can think of, you will not have more than 10 answers. And but here SAP think through, okay, for this also they have a roles, for this also they have roles. There are different kind of a roles. But now let's say if you are a new, or maybe you are managing your CPI tenant, you want to give roles to your team member. Okay, so there are 4 roles which are required for kind of a developer. I think what are those roles? I'll just mention it. TMN node roles. Okay, I think the first one is your auth group. Auth group dot business expert. Auth group dot administrator. Auth group dot integration developer. The last one is your auth group. Sorry. Auth group dot system developer. Okay. So these are the 4 roles you need to provide to your user so that it can actually work. So now let's say in case if I go here into this particular system, so there are different kind of roles which are provided. You can just click on this name and you can provide with auth. Okay, so here you will see there are different kind of roles which are there. Okay, so we talked about these 4 roles: auth group dot business. I'm sure it will be here only. Okay, auth group dot business expert, auth group dot administrator, auth group integration developer, auth group dot system administrator. It's very easy. So now let's say in case if you have any kind of a new as user ID, let's say if you just choose your role which you want to give, click on assign and just give the S user ID here. In case for SAP it can be I number, or SAP can give you I number also. You can directly add it here. They have a provision. But generally for your any kind of a new S user ID created, they ask me and they ask, okay, give this on this particular sub account this role to a user. You just come here and give the S user number ID and click assign. That's it. Okay, so these are the 4 different kind of roles which you actually need. Now, why I'm just talking about this 4? Because this is required for your development part of it in the real-time system. There are so many roles which you might need. I think now let's say for read only, there is for auth group, there's a roles dot read. So now let's say in case we want to give a person just a read access only, so you can just give this particular roles. I think it starts with auth group read also. There is auth group read also. This just provide this auth group dot read only. Then we have very specifically for even for your transport management. Okay, so now let's in case if you want to provide a user for a transport management, so you can just do that particular part. So these are predefined roles which SAP gives with this particular node, TMN, which is your tenant management node. Mostly how much I see, these are the 4 only you need to provide it out. That's it. Okay, so these are the 4 different roles you need to provide on the TMN node. Now when I'm just talking about your second node, IFL map, there is only a one role which is needed, which is the ESB messaging dot send. Let me check it out. I hope that's the one. So for second role which you need to provide, make sure you go to IFL map and don't forget it. If you don't give this role now, you will not be able to throw any message from outside into the system. So that's a very critical role this is. I'll talk about the concept of ESB messaging dot send. ESB stands for Enterprises Service Bus Messaging Dots, and again it has its own relevance. Okay, so ESB messaging dot send is a rule required for your node IFL map. So please make sure that, guys, whenever you are, let's say in case if you are creating for yourself, this role will be sufficient enough for you to develop and play around your for your integration. Okay, so this is for your real time how overall this particular bit works out. So this is how you get your tenant. Once you get your tenant, I think yesterday we have seen that we got a URL. Once we get a URL, so what will happen is once we have URL, what you can do is you can just quickly click on this is IFL map. I'll go to TMN and click from there. You can click on this and it will actually open your CPI system for you, and you are done. Now all the things of developing, deploying, monitoring your messages will be at this particular service or your integration service. Now we are done from the BTP. We have seen how to get user, how to get your roles, everything. Then we will be start building it out here. Now before going into this system and exploring or creating your packages for integration and all these things, but I think for me, I think it was very important that how to actually set up a trial account for yourself, because definitely you need to practice it out, okay? Because without practice, you will not be able to learn it. So what we'll do is we'll just start seeing how to set up a trial account. Before going into the trial account, I'll just quickly recap, guys, okay? Again, I don't want to just do it again and again. Only the thing is this is important. So what we have learned till now, how to come to the BTP, which is account.hana.ondemand.com. Okay. In case if you have SURID, sign into it. Go to the global account. You will land into the global account. Look at the specific sub account for a services. Go inside it. In there, just see on the subscription tab. Okay, what are the on services or subscription? Just see if your service is enabled. Get your roles in case if you want to assign any kind of a users, you can do that part. One more important thing before closing it out on this bit. Anytime if someone says in this particular sub account, add another members. Okay, this is a very common thing people ask. Go to the members. Okay, here you have click on add members, and you will be able to actually do lot of different kind of information here. Okay, on the members tab. So this was the last part. Any other question anyone has as such?
Sam, regarding the regarding the roles which you're talking over here, like specifically want to restrict for the particular interfaces, like this particular interface should not be visible if some role is not assigned. So how that can be?
No. That level of control is not there. Only it is talking about control at application level. Very good question you asked. It's control mode more at application level. SAP is giving you some kind of SAP has given some ways. We'll talk here in the tenant, but that's again control at a package level. At an interface level, I think they are doing it out, but still not much. There are not more inputs on that particular bit. But that's a very fair part.
Okay, so because there will be some payrolls, like the mainly important is the payrolls. So the payroll, if at all, if this particular roles which you're talking over here, if it gives to each and every employee, so the developer, anyone, so everyone can see that employee's payroll, right? How much that pay is happening for them, those things, everything can be visible, right? So is that anywhere that restriction can be given, like a payload restrictions, which cannot be visible for them? Anything?
Payload restrictions currently I don't think so we do have it. Okay. I think you have to just make sure that you don't enable any kind of a logging script, or you don't enable any kind of a tracing part to it. Second thing is, you, as I mentioned, definitely for payload level, I'm not sure. Okay, if payload level, if SAP has given you the control, who can only see for this interface the payload. But now let's say if there are two people who are developing on the same tenant, and there are chances that might be one is from someone is doing a Reba development and second one is doing a success factor payroll integration. Okay, So in case if you have different packages, you can control that who can actually view that particular package. So that kind of a control I know that SAP has provided some kind of solutions, so that we can actually take care of it.
Okay, so you're saying the trace, right? So to enabling the trace for this thing, is there any specific role is there can be this thing? Because in the if you're on the trace over there, so almost in the we can see the simulations, everything, right? The data can be
Correct,
seen
correct.
over. So the trace to restrict the trace, is there anything like a specific method, or is there anything?
No, nothing. As I mentioned before, payload, I am not aware of any kind of control or user base who can see what specific payload it has to pass for. But definitely, it's a good question. I can actually check it out and get back to you guys. Okay, that if we can restrict the payload, because this functionality is being a long demanded from different business users also for payload package interfaces that who can see it or who cannot see it. What controls you see from this BTP, it's just more about overall holistically from application level, not at that micro level.
Okay. So is there in this the all the roles which are a standard ones? So is there any custom roles can also be created manually from every project wise, like every customer wise, or only the standard only has to be used?
And no, there is a provision to also use the custom role here. You can also go and create your custom roles. Now let's say in case if I go here onto this, there is a provision to create a custom role. So if you go to here role, you can even actually define a custom role. But again,
Okay.
that custom role, what it has it's being linked to some kind of authorization. Okay. So now let's say in case if you want to enable a token based authorization, in that kind of cases, this roles help. Not straightforward. You can just define any kind of a role here. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. But I think definitely I'll definitely check myself because I think I know there is a lot of SAPs also providing inputs or that this functionality will be provided soon. So let me just do, because every then and now there are changes. I'll definitely look into it, and in case if I get any kind of input, I'll definitely update you back if there is any kind of a control at package level, interface level, or a message payload level. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other question? Okay. So I'll just do one thing and then now quickly move on to uh, uh, okay. So now guys, again, I think we have just talked about basics of your BTP. In case if someone wants to get more understanding or if there's any kind of a question, please feel free to drop me email. I'm happy to discuss about it. Okay. Now I think guys comes about the important piece here, how to get actually your trial accounts. When I say set up your trial account, definitely guys, everyone, when we are just talking about this course, everyone wants to practice it out, because without practice, nothing will work out. Again, our recipe is changing every time, the documentation, because I have close to 7 to 8 versions now who talks about how a different kind of installations happens it out from the last few years. Okay, previously it was different. Earlier there was no concept of entitlements, and because I can show you my last 2 3 year videos also, now they have bring in the concept of entitlement. So now they are changing it out, but that's okay. That's how the cloud it is. I think this is the latest document I have it, which is step by step how to actually set up your trial account. But I'll just do one thing. I've already created one user for me, because every time I don't have that flexibility with the mobile numbers, because you need a mobile number to set up again your trial account. So I have actually created one with one email ID. I'm just going to actually create from scratch a trial account. there is at a specific step, I think it actually takes 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, in case if it takes today less, we will proceed. In case if it not, might be what we can do is we can just see there again, there are 3 or 4 steps left out. Might be you can just try it out in your system. Okay. Now to set up your trial account, what we have to do, again, very simple, straightforward. We'll just try to keep it very simple. So now let me just go back again here into your account .hana.ondemand.com. So I think this is the first page which will be open for you. Okay. So now what happens is, now in case if you want to register, first in case if you want to create a new user for yourself, click on register. Okay, so this kind of a pop-up will open it up for you. So here just provide the details about yourself. Okay, here, okay, now it pop up. Just give your email ID, first name, last name, company, region, phone number, department, relationship, and just click on submit. Now once you click on this particular part, make sure you have to give the right mobile number. Okay, don't goof up here because this is going to actually validate it out. How? Because today only evening, only 6:50 I've set up this account. Then SAP asks me to actually finalize your account. When you go on click to activate your account, what will do is it will ask that OTP. So again, once you just validate against the OTP which comes to your mobile number, then it will actually you will be able to create your password. Okay, whatever the password you want to set up for your account. So once you do that particular part, so I have mentioned on this page also. Come here, step by step, same things only. Okay, register, activate. Okay, you will have a trial account get created. Okay, so once you create a trial account, so this is the page which I have to start with. Sometimes the OTP does not work, so that's why I just want to have make sure that while running the session, that problem should not come out. So now what I'm going to do here is I am sorry. I'll again once I have set up everything, I'll just click on the sign in. Okay. I'll use whatever the email ID which I have given my business email to start with, which I've created initially to create my account. I'll give that particular part. And just remember that in case if you're using in browser multiple login with your S user ID, might be then your personal ID, sometimes it can be challenged. Make sure that if you have logged in your browser with any other user ID, please make sure that you log out. Okay. So now you're at this particular page. Okay. Now what we have to do is, first of all, we have to go into this trial home. Okay, so this particular page is that this is a global account, this is a trial system. So it will actually take me to, hi Sam, before you continue, we need to finalize your trial creation, which choose a region that's closest to you. Okay, in my case I'm in India, so I'm gonna use Singapore as your, in case if we're into US, just choose this particular region of US East. I'll choose this particular part and I'll just click on create account. Okay, so now here it will be just creating a global account, sub account, org, space, everything for me. Previously there was a few steps which was manual. Now I think they have just automated it out. Okay, so here if you just look at, they have choose the region. It will actually processing here this information, and once this choose, it will give you this particular page to go and enter your trial account. Any kind of questions, guys? If anyone has any kind of a question, please please let me know. Or I can just do two things also. Last time I think there was a one suggestion. Just a second. Just a one suggestion. Just hold on to your thought for a minute. Last time someone suggested that Sam, first of all, just take us to the document first, do into the system so that it will be easy for you guys. You want me to go in the similar fashion or just see and do it?
Then you will be sharing this document with us?
Everything I'll be sharing you guys. Don't worry about that particular part. I have created for you guys only.
No, I'm just asking so that we can try out even if
No,
we have some
definitely,
time
guys.
tomorrow. We can try
After
out, right?
this, guys, after this particular session only, I'm gonna share you. I'm going to share this particular document. Don't worry about this particular bit. Yep, guys. Anyone? Do you want me to go with the same approach? Is it okay with you? Just say yes, no. I think that would be really helpful for me. How do you want to go?
I'm okay with any option. You already have account.
Okay. How about others who don't have an account? Who is seeing this particular screen for the first time?
I think this current approach will work, Sam, where you're going.
Sure, perfect, perfect. I was just looking for input. Yeah, cool. So now what I'm gonna do here is, okay, sorry, there was this go to meeting icon. So now as seeing the steps, so we'll just click on continue here. So we reach to the same screen what we see here in the screenshot. So now what we have to do is the next is that we have to just go to our trial account. I'll just click on this particular bit. Okay, so this is how my trial account look like, which just talks about a provider, which talks about a region, environment. When I say the word multi-cloud, multi-environment, cloud foundry, all these are the same. Okay, but now they call it as a multi-environment. Now when you see this particular parts, the same way we see here in this bit trial, now you can even change this name of your sub account in case if you want to do that particular part. So now let's say in case if you want to make any kind of a change, click on this three dots, click on edit. Here you can actually provide sorry. You can just click on save. I think this is in case if you want to make changes on to the name of the sub account, you can do that particular part. So once you do that particular change, so now let's in case if you want to go inside this particular sub account, yeah, you just click on this particular sub account. It will actually take you to that particular cockpit. Again, some options will be same here, but few of the options will be changing. Now guys, again, few things you have to understand it out because I think that's by nature. Don't expect that in a trial account you will see the similar functionalities. Okay, all the functionalities, no, that is not possible. So here again this is again a BTP cockpit, which is this time this is for a cloud foundry environment. Okay, again there are different kind of options you have enabled here. I think if you look at for the trial account here, it just talks about first in general about tenant ID created on modified provider region. This environment, it talks about schema. Again, I don't think so we need schema here. Then last it talks about your entitlements. When I say the word entitlement, it means that what are the different services we can use in a free tier on this free trial. If I go to this entitlements part here, okay, so we have these are the different services which are enabled, but just do remember that with you can just use only one service. I think max to max. You cannot use all the services. There can be use case that might be you want to practice it out, might be cloud workflows and integration suite, might be then you have to create a separate accounts with definitely different number, and then you will be able to actually play with all the services. So yeah, this is overview. This is again instances and subscription. Again, these are the different options. I'll just show you how when you enable your service, how does all these things get work out. Cloud Foundry, HTML5 applications. I think that's a free scope. We have connectivity for cloud connectors. We have security, users, role, trust configuration settings, entitlement, and your user analytics. These are the different kind of options which are available. So I'll just do one thing. We'll just take it to the document and just try to proceed further. Okay, so in case if you want to add more members to your Cloud Foundry, what you have to do is you have to go to the Cloud Foundry. You have to go to the org members. Okay, in case if you want to add members here, you can actually do that particular part also. Okay, so this is how you do that particular part. Now let me just go more. So now if you look at here, we have security. I think this is currently the only one user is one user is which is ID with which I have created this particular tenant. So that's the user which has been added here. Now the first most important thing, once you have created your trial account, you have seen okay what are the different kind of options enabled. First you have to ask yourself that Sam, how to enable this integration suite service, because that's for me is the most important thing. Okay, in case if you get that particular question, because also as I mentioned you initially while setting while showing you the real-time system of Neo, you have to go to services, look at your process integration service, and you have to enable it out. Same way what we have to do is we have to actually get that integration suite. So for that particular part I have to quickly go here into entitlements. Okay, again just follow the steps. Now next is you must configure entitlement, which is need to set up a service instances. Then when we're just talking about this entitlement, what you have to do is click on this configure entitlements, add service plans. This is an integration suite. Why it is showing a zero plan? Okay, this is available. Okay, this is already one unit added. Let me see next. I think this was by default added. I think guys, yeah, I think now might be this is a new step which is by default. So when you add by default, so now when you come to this particular page, I think this is already enabled into your trial into your suite. I don't think so. Now we have to come and do the steps. Previously, I think last to last batch close to May, you come at add service plan. What we used to do is very specifically you look for this integration suite service, okay, and then you click on this add service plan. So now what happens is this is by default, this is added, so we don't have to do anything. You can just see that okay, if this is by default, this check is there or not. That's it. So once you do that particular part, so now what we have to do is we have to do the subscription of this. Now once your service is entitled, then you have to go to this instances and your subscription part. Okay, now here what you have to do is you have to click on create. Again, I think the screen has been a bit changed. Now earlier what used to happen is I'll just tell you and I'll just update it because I didn't expect that this change would be happening out here. So now what earlier you used to do is you when you go to the subscriptions part here, so you will see the service and you go inside the particular service and then you have to actually enable the subscribe button. Okay, so there is a subscribe button used to comes and then we used to go to application. But now I think let me just do a create. choose integration suite. I'll just stick my plan to trial, and I'll just do one thing. I'll just do a create. Again, this is a new step. I think they have enabled. Let me take a screenshot of it. Okay. Let me just add it right now only. And file default in plans. Okay. So now what happens is, so now once your particular service, which we have now subscribed. Okay, so now you see the service has been subscribed. So now let's say might be in case if you're not working with integration, maybe you are working with any kind of different services. Come here and might be just choose your service. Again, guys, I'm not sure on what particular day you are seeing this video. In case if there are steps changed, so guys, yeah, might be what might be SAP has adapted to something new, but I'm sure there will be option left and right only. Okay. Now, in case if you reach to this particular place, now what happens again, we have this, if you're for the first time, I would say guys, pause and don't run, okay? Because going forward for different services, you have to work like this only. Again, go to application, manage roles, add labels and delete. So now let's say in case if I'm not in a hurry, I'll say, let me not click here, let me just click on this arrow, what will show? I click on this particular part again. It says again a quick overview about the integration suite service. It says the integration suite helps you to quickly develop, manage reliable communication between application services system across your heterogeneous landscape. They have a documentation, they have roles. Okay, I said okay, if the roles is okay, then again there is a 3 dot add labels and delete. So what happened is whatever the option of go to applications, you can go directly from here. They have just given from here. So again, I think it's fine. There is no harm in it. But for the first time, guys, this is very important setting up a trial account, because once you have set up a trial account for yourself in a BTP, you will have such a good confidence that anytime anyone will say, okay, set up, you will say, okay, I'll do that particular part. If there is an issue also comes down, because I don't know how many times I've been stuck here. Earlier, 3-4 years, 2 years back when it was new, they have started giving a trial account. Okay, it never used to get subscribes. Okay, I used to wait 1 or 2 hours even, but now it is very plug and play. But please do it for yourself. Now here what I can do is as per the option given here in the option, I have to click as go to application. Here was a step which says go to application. Okay. So now I'll do the same. I'll just click on go to application here. Again, it will just take me to the one page where again integration suite services at some new page comes up. Again, guys, as I mentioned you, when we're just talking about SAP integration suite, it's not something very, it's a big umbrella, okay, which has different kind of capabilities. Now, I think this page is very important. Okay, why again? First thing, look around the this particular page. What are the different kind of options it is given to you? Now, when I say why this is important, because when you click on, because as per the document, what it will say is go and click on add capabilities. Okay, so it will just say we have to add the capabilities with which we want to work on. So when I say the word capabilities, it does mean that what are the different kind of tools which we need it out. For a trial system, now the good news is once you click on this add capabilities, SAP is now giving everything for you to use it out. If I'm talking about cloud integration, APIs, mappings, EDIs, okay, and your extend non-SAP connectivity. Earlier, if you just look at in the screen, same screenshot, Okay, so there were only 4 of the capabilities initially were provided. Now I think they are giving you more set of functionalities as such. Okay. Now again, based on your usage, you can do that particular part. If you're setting it for the first time, just enable it all. I don't think so there is any kind of a harm in enabling it out. Again, it says activating of trading partner management automatically in the dependent cloud integration to the capital no more SAP. Okay. Okay, so I'll just do one thing. Will automatically put a dependent cloud. Uh, okay, because I think this was previously this was not the option, as I'm sure. Okay, so just for this particular demo, I'll just enable it out in case if you want to uncheck it also, you can uncheck it out because we are going to play around more around APIs, integration, and your open connectors. Okay, these are new options, so I've enabled it. Yeah. So once you have checked what are the different capabilities you need, okay, you can choose it, click on next. Okay. Then again, configure your cloud integration. I'll click on next again, or guys, just one correction here. I'll just do one thing. I'll just uncheck this part because I'm not sure because of some kind of dependencies because I've burned my hand a lot with setting up a trial account. I don't want to impact this setting up. While setting up this demo, it should impact out. For us, it should go smooth. Okay. I don't want this currently for this EDI. I'll just uncheck it out. I'll click on next. Okay, because I really want this to get smooth because whatever we need, we have all the options. Next, I'll click again this message queues. Again, this is select prevent cloud integration sync. Okay, queuing capabilities. Okay, I'll click on next. API portal by default. Select the checkbox if you want to activate API Business Hub Enterprise. I'll check yes. Again, trust me guys, there are new options which are coming up. Previously, all these options was not there. I'm also setting after a long time, but yes, these options was not there in last September, October. I'll click on next again. I'll click on activate. Now this activation will take time. Okay. As I mentioned you here, it can take up to 60 minutes. Mostly it just take 10 to 15 minutes. So we have to actually possibly wait. Okay. To see if it goes perfect.
In the meantime, like in the SAP cockpit screen, so we have options called like add member and at the same time users. So what is the
Add
difference
members
between
add?
add members and users?
Add members and users. I think there
Users, yeah.
I think there are two things which I talked, I think yesterday also when we were just talking about user management from the BTP, there are two things. One is the platform users and one is the business user. When we're just talking about the platform users, and now let's say in case if someone is
Developers.
responsible for developing Fury applications or working with these accounts, so that becomes a user. When we just talk, that becomes a member. When we're just talking about a business user, when we're just talking about a business user, so now let's say in case we have deployed any kind of a cloud, any kind of applications on this environment, okay? Now let's say if I log in to work with that particular application, okay? So now let's say if you have built one point solution, let's say expense management, okay? Now to work with that particular app, now let's say I am an end user, okay?
End user, okay.
So to work with that particular application, so then in that particular case, I become a user for that bit.
Okay. So for the members and users, the roles will be different again.
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. Okay. So under one sub accounts, so we can add the members who can have the development authorizations, right? So how many members we can add and under one sub account?
I don't think so. As I said, there is any kind of limitation. You can add as many number of your members as such.
Oh, okay.
There is a no limit, because now let's say in case if you're a big organization, you have, let's say, you have a IT team of close to, let's say, 600 people. Maybe you have a big project running it out. Let's say 200 people are responsible. Let's say 40 people are, for 400 people, let's say there is S user account. Let's say there are companies which are doing this kind of a big level implementation. Let's say for your integration, there are close to 40 members. You can go and add the 40 members based on what are the different roles into that sub account. So they will have,
Okay.
based on their roles, um, you will be able to define it out. What they can do, what they cannot do.
Okay, that roles can be assigned at the sub-account level also, Sam, so that all will be applicable to that. Those roles will be applicable to all the members assigned under the sub-account.
See, you have to choose a role and then you have to assign it out. We just have seen that. So now let's say there is a role called auth group dot indication developer. That's a role defined.
Exactly.
You choose the role. Below there was an option of which users you want to assign it out. Okay. Then
Oh, that is,
yeah, add user. You give a user and then you will be able to assign it out as such. Okay.
that's yeah. Okay. No, got it. So Sam, one more question, like coming to like environments. So we have like multi-cloud at the same time Neo. So do we have any price difference between multi-cloud and the Neo? Because the Neo was like supported by SAP, and if they want to like advertise more on the Neo, and are they giving any discounts or price differences compared to multi-cloud and Neo?
Yes, honestly, I cannot just answer that particular part because I think it all depends on what kind of preposition I think SAP is having with the customer. Because now let's say in case if this is a large scale customer and or they're using all cloud-based cloud and on-premise application, then they can give it a very cheap rate. Or let's say if they have only an on-premise and might be customer is using Salesforce, ServiceNow, some GCP, they're building apps on GCP, and they just want CPI to fetch data from on-premise system. Okay, in that particular case, I cannot say what kind of how the costing will be determined. As such. Again, pricing part again, guys, it's very challenging. What they write logically, I feel like pricing they should not be putting it here as such. Very simply, okay? Because most of the time I hear out from the customers that they say no, CPI is free with overall this application with overall this. Then how does it make sense? Okay, so pricing part, guys, let's not get into the pricing part because it's a very dynamic, very dynamic.
Okay. And one more question, Sam. Like we can see, I mean, we are seeing like the cloud connectors in the trial account also. So with the
Correct.
trial account, can we install cloud connector in the real-time system, which is on premise, if my
Cloud
customer
connector,
accepts?
yeah, you can do that particular part. Cloud connectors I have also installed in my machine also. You can do that particular part. That's a free system I think SAP has provided. So
Okay.
that's, yeah, so I have also done it here. If you look at, I have installed this cloud connector for a long time back because I show actually connectivity from this cloud connector to my BTP cockpit. Okay, so I will show this how this connectivity also works out. You can do that part. There's no issue.
Yeah, if you want to like do some POCs and like present it to the customer, so
See, what happens is, guys, if you're using a trial, I don't think so. SAP is also smart, guys, because if you just create your POC and sell it out and then might be customers spotted, sometimes SAP puts restrictions also while exposing the data. I'm not sure. It depends on licensing also, what kind of ERP licensing. If you have that components, add-ons available, I don't think so then there should be any kind of a challenge. Guys, anytime if you're sending data out from the system, there is a no issue. You can do without Cloud Connector also. I have seen it. If you have any time input data to on-premise system, like inbound request to your on-premise system, you need a Cloud Connector. Okay, you cannot input directly. You cannot expose your host directly to cloud application. In that particular case, you need some kind of a Cloud Connector reverse proxy concept where you hide the details of your main server and pass or route a request through it. Okay.
Yep.
Let me see.
Sam, one question.
Sure. Go ahead.
When we are activating this service, integrations with service, we saw that some admin role is added by SAP. So is it like a super user authorization SAP is automatically adding, and we
Where
should
you have seen that? Where you have seen that part?
in these roles, right? We see that integration portal, provisioning admin.
Yeah. Correct. This is by standard SAP does that part here.
So we should always take this, and apart from that, if we want to add, we will add additional role over here, right?
Correct. So now let's in case of once this particular setup is done. Okay, so we go next. Trust me, earlier initially it was of 30 page. Now I think this has been reduced drastically. So once you do this roles part, once you activate, then we have to assign the roles also. Okay, so there are some kind of a roles which we actually need it out. Okay, so in that particular case, what we have to do is we have to go again to security, click on this, and there are some users which are required, roles which are required. So these are the different kind of role collection which you have to provide it out in case if you have to set it up. For cloud integration like this are 3, for API these are 2, advisor, and for your open connectors we'll do all in one go only as such.
Okay.
Okay, so I think it's good. I think that's how we should leverage time in case if anyone has also, oh perfect, this is done. Okay, I think for me, I think this was a quick, I'm very happy. Okay, so now going forward for me, this is my URL for my cloud integration. But now what's up? You are there, but you see a missing step. You don't have sufficient permission to access cloud integration. Please assign the required cloud integrations roles. So now let's say in case if I just do a bit of hurry and if I don't provide right roles, it will not allow me to log in it out. But one thing which we have to understand from this particular page, we have now all the different kind of users with me. Now let's say in case if I have to develop API portals, this is API portal, this is for Business Hub, below is for your integration advisor, below is for the open connector. So SAP is giving you everything to practice it out as such. Okay. Now coming back again to where we left off. So here what we have to make sure is that we provide the right roles. Okay, because roles are required to actually work with it. So now what I have to do is we have left exactly on this step. So I don't want that there is any kind of confusion. So now you have activated services, now you have URLs. Now what you have to do is you have to actually assign the roles part of it. Okay, so for that particular what you have to do is you have to go to security. You have to click on the trust configuration here. I'm not sure, I haven't. Okay, it's written in security trust configuration. Oh, they have changed now here also. Okay. So now, good. Okay, I think they have changed this. Now what used to do is now you can earlier how you used to work out. I'm 100% sure. You click on this default identity provider. What used to happen is once you click on this default identity provider, there are pop-up used to come where you used to give your Gmail ID. Based on Gmail ID, you used to give your roles. But let me just check. I think now what they have done is
Just go to
instance.
users. Maybe just go to users.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Definitely, I'm happy.
I think you have this. Or no?
No, it's just identity provider.
Okay.
No, but guys, I really appreciate if you give this input like this. I'll be very happy because if you click on create, I think you will be only able to create users. I think there are two places where I think this
Or
is
just
possible.
roles. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, because I think you just remember that we goes to instances and subscription. Here also it was the roles. Okay, so now let me just click on this particular add role here. Okay, this is, now let me go to the roles here only simply. Mhm. Okay, let me just do one thing. Let me just go one by one. For me also, then I think this is a good learning. Um, Business Application Studio, no, I need for a role template for integration. Let me just go ahead below. IT provisioning admin. Good. Why I'm not getting it out here? Sorry. Okay. So let me just come here. Let me just check around the roles. API portal administrator. Let me just see for API. I have seen that part. API portal admin. Catalog. Self-service. Okay. Let me just go to role collection here also, see once. Then last I will just try into the trust configuration. Okay, I think these are the roles which I see it here. So let me just do one thing. Let me just copy this part. You're about to copy role collection with one role and include it in the copy. Let me see what. Okay.